morning. It is Saturday, June 20th, 2020. I'm Chuck Kavasik, and welcome in the first of several shows that we're going to be doing called tentatively State of the Art, highlighting artists and art conversations within the California Art Club, and of course, State of the Art being California. And first up, that we're going to be speaking with in our series of short sketch conversations is a fellow that many of us know and admire, myself in particular, Nikita Budkov. Nikita, are you there?
Hi, everybody. I'm here.
And I must say, we are supported in this enterprise by Gary Spisek, who is producing the program today for us. So if there's any technical difficulties, we'll blame it on Gary. Is that agreed, Nikita?
Certainly.
Okay. Certainly. How are you doing now? You're living where these days?
Well, I'm stationed in Glendale right now.
Okay.
And I'm renting a room here, and it's particularly nice. I have this garden here, and the whole house looks like an artist house. Big inspiration.
So you got a lot of natural light. And do you like painting in studio or out there on that patio to get natural light?
Well, I paint in the garage, and it's okay. I still use artificial light because the garage door faces west. So especially when it's the sunset, there's too much sun in the garage. So I usually have my own methods on how to set up a light.
Do you use a lot of plein air sketches in your work?
Usually when I do plein air, I try to finish it. So I try to finish the same painting.
As a plein air piece.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're doing your studio pieces, then you're working from photographs, drawings, quick sketches.
I do sketches. Well, my method is usually not many people want to be sitting around for 3 hours and while I draw them, but sometimes I can do a sketch. I can do a sketch or two, and I photograph, do everything myself, and then I can use Photoshop, for example, to change the composition, change the light, add some images to the photograph. Then if it's a portrait, I draw face and hands. And then after that, I do a color study, and then I paint.
So you come from an academic background, academically trained. Has that really given you a particular insight of the way you put things together? A preference?
Sure, I learned everything from academic school. Before that, I haven't painted. I always drew all my life. I loved pencil. I love black and white work. But I just been painting for about 4 years, oil painting. I did watercolors before. I come from Russia, and everybody there, Russia, and everybody there, they either go to sports activities or to arts and music. And I went through children's art school. It's kind of like a secondary night school. You go after your normal school. And
what was the name of the school?
It doesn't, you know how Soviets sometimes, they're not very creative about names like tanks, all our tanks were named with one letter and then a number. So this school is just children's art school number, something like that,
Okay, well, it seems to have served you well. Let's take a look at an image that you selected, one of your paintings, and I remember it from last year's gold medal show. Can we get a look at that, Gary? Of course, this is this year's gold medal show. Here she is. Now, this is a special lady in your life, isn't it?
Yes, she's my muse, and she's my wife now too. I got married a couple months ago.
Nice to have a muse that's also your wife who's also your muse.
Is also an artist.
Now, at this point, you've transferred some of those sketches to the canvas, correct?
I studied the face. Of course, I know her face very well, but I always draw something before I paint. So I studied her face, and then I decided just to go freehand on it's 40 by 30 panel, masonite panel.
Mm-hmm.
And just, it gives a lot of freedom to move paint around, and like you see here, this is my old studio. It was just outside, as you can, I guess you can't really tell here. I used to live in Van Nuys, and that was my studio. And that's how I started with just some blocking, and then I start adding paint, and that's first layer of paint.
Now, do you like the way the paint drags across that slicker surface of the masonite?
Yeah, I'm fine. I don't like much texture. I don't like canvas too. I mean, I can live with canvas. I just don't like how wobbly it is. I'm also afraid of someone in the future going with a knife and trying to stab my painting. But hey, that's a panel. You can't really destroy it.
Painting homicides, as it were. What kind of ground do you put down on your masonite?
I put shellac, and I put some acrylic gesso. I can mix acrylic gesso. It's white. I can mix it with some color. So
Ah, okay. This is really nice, coming along nicely. What are the colors that you focus on your palette?
well, my palette is mostly, as you can see here, is mostly red, purples, but here I try to show the quality of the sunlight. So of course I had many yellows, ochre.
Very nice. The shirt, the blouse that she's wearing, the stitching on it, I think they call it clockwork. It's very nicely done. Is this from a particular region?
Yes, this is Russian folk dress, so Eastern European.
Mm-hmm. It's
And
beautiful. Do the flowers that she's holding? Is there any sort of allegorical reference here that's being
yeah,
made?
there was. I can't quite remember, but there is always a meaning when I do something in the painting. I always put some symbolism in this. And the flowers, it's actually the field flowers. And I I did studies of her, and I photographed her back in, it was I think June or May, maybe it was May. So it was before summer. It was spring flowers. So you could go with something like a life is reborn, kind of like that, symbolic meanings.
So these are wildflowers that would be found in the fields around her home then.
Yeah.
That's really kind of a nice touch to have that local reference. Uh, is there another image of the painting?
Mm, I
Gary,
think
have
it's
we
the
got
final.
another
Yeah,
image?
I think it's the final one.
No, I guess we don't. I just want to comment. Now, this was in last year's gold medal show,
Yeah.
and I know you like figurative work, but this one was a little different from what I've seen from you because it's very sedate, it's very quiet,
Mhm.
it's very direct. Um, was that because you have more of a personal involvement with the set, or do you like doing singular portraits?
I try to do more multifigural right now because there's a lot of artists who do singular portraits.
Hmm.
But painting her in particular, I love painting my wife, and
Of course.
I just, when I was working on this painting, it was like knife in the butter. It was just going easy. It was so much fun, and I enjoyed it so much. I think I finished it quick too for the size. I finished it just in 6 weeks, and for me, it's
What
very.
exactly is the size again?
It's 40 by 30.
40 by 30. So that's a nice size. And other people like this as well. Not only was it in last year's gold medal show, it got an award from the Art Renewal Center competition, didn't it?
Yeah, I got an award from ARC, and I got an award from Plein Air Salon also.
Wow. Did their checks clear?
Well, there's not big awards, but I'm not rushing it.
Well, I mean, that's great to get that recognition not only from the CAC, but some of these other organizations as well.
For sure.
And those aren't easy competitions to get into.
For me, as
So,
young artist, that's the most important.
well, but congratulations on it, nevertheless. What do we got up next?
Oh yeah. Well, this is something crazy. It's something I wanted to just show everybody that I can do something, something different with the palette and
What
everything.
size is this?
It's 34 by 44, so it's slightly bigger than the East of the Sun, the other one. And yeah, it's 8 people in the painting, so I went for it. It's my first painting like that too.
And these are friends of yours that gathered for a party, or what was going on?
Yeah, they are all my friends, and I'm in the center in the front, and there's my wife also in the center, so I know all of them. So yeah, this is the process.
Okay, so you're starting to layer in some color and things. How long does it take you to paint something like this with the multiple figures?
Took me forever. I made some mistakes. Well, first I spent maybe a month just to making this picture. I photographed everything, but then I had to do a mashup in Photoshop. So it's like I went for a lot of references to movies and music. So I went on the internet looking for this and that, and it was a lot of work. And then I painted it, and I did some mistakes right when I started painting it. So I had to pay for them.
Now,
Had to pay hours to painting.
is you're working on? Do you have a monitor that you're working from?
I have my laptop. It's not the big monitor,
Okay.
so it's hard. But I also printed out the photograph this size, and I had it on the left, so I could always look. It was black and white photograph. I could always look for the values and for the size.
We have one that's further on in the process.
Yeah,
we're talking. There it is. Isn't that phenomenal? I want to go to that party. When the next time you have a party, you got to invite me, okay?
Well, this is in Russia. If Putin let you in.
Well, if you give me enough lead time, I'll buy a plane ticket and I'll go. How's that?
Awesome.
People are always trying to get me to go someplace.
Yeah, that's not the final image. Yeah, this is
there
the final.
It is. Mm-hmm. Isn't that is so much fun, doing something like that with your friends in there. And I mean, wow. And what I find interesting is the bright, intense colors. And I know that you were part of the mentor program with the CAC, and you had been mentoring with Peter Adams, the CAC president. Did some of his color palette begin to influence you here?
Yeah,
he likes those bright, bold colors.
Yeah, that's his influence, I'm sure. I work with Peter as his assistant, so I'm always there in his studio. We're not going over methods and traditions of painting, but I always see his paintings, and he's very nice. He's asking me what I think about his work, and of course he has this impressionist colors, California sunlight. So that's what you see, maybe.
But this painting in particular is kind of nostalgic for an old guy like me. This reminds me of all those great album covers that were produced in the 70s and 80s. It has that vibe going for it. It's great.
There is an album cover over there. You can't really see it, and I don't know if you know the band. It's Iron Maiden. It's heavy metal. So I put a poster somewhere on the right side in the background, and I have so many references in this painting. It's movies like Blade Runner, Space Odyssey 2001, RoboCop, A Clockwork Orange, music, a lot of music, a lot of games.
So it's almost like, it would be great to have see this painting in a show, and your artist statement would be a series of annotated notes to all this. That'd be great. Is that information that you'll attach to the back of the painting?
To the back, yeah, why not? When I write a description, I'll certainly say something about it, but I'm not gonna, give you keys to all the doors. You have to look for them yourself. That's what I like about it. Some people they look closely and they will get it. They will be like, oh, that's from the Alien, or this is from something else. And I do it in my more mythological works too. I add the references. Some of them are thousands of years old. Traditions like that.
Uh-huh.
This is more modern. This is This is a retrospective of the 80s culture. It's a discotheque.
Mhm. So, do you think you'll be doing? I like this idea of putting all those little hints, those allegorical notes. You know, like you did with the flowers, with the painting of your wife, and now all those little sort of informational things going on here. Is that something you think you're going to continue doing?
Yeah, yeah, that's part of me.
Because it makes it a whole lot of fun. Stand there and look at something like this in person. I can imagine you'd have a whole crowd of people around it trying to inspect and engage with it on that other level. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
My
thanks.
gosh.
I'm glad you say so. My intention with this painting was to, to show it's a big painting, and people see it, and I want them to say like, "Wow!" Like it doesn't mean it's the best painting in the world, but what matters for me is I wanted to show this boom of colors, and so much action going on, and it's like people will be like, "Wow, that's crazy. That's something we haven't seen in a museum before." Uh, Talking about more representational art, not modern art, of course.
Huh? What kind of music do you listen to when you paint something like this?
I always, first of all, I always name my paintings after. I always do that, even with the smallest paintings. So that's also like a symbology. But depends on the painting. If it's something traditional, I listen to a lot of folk music, some atmospheric ambient music. If it's this painting, then I listen to electronic music, rock music, heavy metal music, and a lot of soundtracks from sci-fi movies.
What's the title of this movie? Of this, I'm calling it a movie. It's very cinematic. What's the title?
Future Club.
Future Club.
Mhm.
Future Club. Well, I maybe in the future I'll get an invitation to a club like this, but in the meantime, the painting will stand in. What's up next? This
Okay.
was the gold medal painting for this year's gold medal show, the CAC. Why don't you walk us through this one real quickly, Nikita?
Well, let's talk about the background for this painting. So this person over there, he's a strong man from St. Petersburg. He's not a big guy. He's not like one of those you see on world's strongest man shows. If you ever watch them, I don't know if you do. He's a short guy, but he's famous for improvising and doing old school training. And I was always into workout and gym and bodybuilding and strongman. So I can't compete because I dedicate all my time to art, but I can at least call them and ask them if they want to be painted. And I went there to St. Petersburg, Russia, and I met with the guy and I photographed him, and so it's kind of like a collaboration.
Uh-huh. He's small, but he's wiry. Do you have
He's a
another
good guy.
image? Has the painting developed?
Yeah, there's more.
What's the fella's name?
Victor.
Victor, okay. And is he a street performer or does he work in a show, a circus of some kind?
He did all of that, and now he's just a blogger. He probably
Uh-huh.
makes a lot of money just being a blogger, on YouTube and Instagram. He has
Okay.
his own gym too.
Yeah. What size was this painting?
It's something like 30 by 24, maybe something like that.
And this painting also won some awards.
It also
With
won award from Plein Air Salon.
mhm. Okay. So it won an award from the Plein Air Salon. What elements of plein air did you incorporate into this work?
Oh, they have many awards. It's not only Plein Air. They have,
Okay.
a portrait awards and animals awards, and I won best artist under 30 in something like August, September. They have it bi-monthly. So
Yeah. Because for me, the plein air element of it is it has a very spontaneous type feel about it with the brushwork, and there's a lot of movement in it. and it was one of my favorite paintings in this
Oh,
year's gold
thanks.
medal show.
Yeah, I
Is
wish we
there?
could show it and people could actually see it, but
Ah,
the
there you
website
go.
is doing the thing.
There you go. And I like the fact that you have this recall moment with the Greco-Roman wrestlers in the background. Is that a wall panel or a carving of some kind that you incorporated?
It's a mosaic. I made it into fresco because I didn't want to, work too many details in the background. But it's a mosaic from Getty Villa. So you can go to the next image. I think it will be the final image. Um, and yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there
I
it
don't know
is. Wow.
if you can see it here, but there's these wrestlers, and I wanted to show the generations of, tradition of athleticism. So
Yeah, and what was the title of this work, Nikita?
Mean Machine.
Mean Machine. It looks like he's a machine that's capable of actually breaking that bar in half. It's got that great tension uh, in the composition. It's
Yeah,
really stunning.
he was training for some competitions, and it was before his workout. I came there, and he was stretching with this pole like that.
Have we got something else to look at, Gary?
No, I think
No, that was it. Well,
yeah, that's
this is a good place to end, and I'd like to ask you a quick question. I know we're all kind of sequestered at home here and in our studios, so we're luckier than most people in that we get to stay in place in our studios. What sort of things are you planning to work on next?
oh, I have so many ideas. Well, I'm so happy to talk about this. I have ideas coming to me every day now because, well, what else can I do now? I just
Yeah.
paint all the time, I work, and I'm working on a biker painting right now. I have a biker painting, also 40 by 30. It's my friend, and I'm working on another painting with him and two girls in the painting, and it's just really interesting. My palette is mostly red and purple. In this painting, I try to do something like Lord Leighton, quality of
Yeah, yeah.
peach and ochre yellow kind of palette. It's full of sunlight, and it's something else. And I'm very excited about it. Then I also have in my mind, I have more paintings of single portraits. I have my friend who is. I have another painting of him. It was a commission with King Arthur and Merlin, and he was a
Oh
king
yeah,
of.
yeah. I saw that image. It
Yeah,
turned out great with the Lady of the Lake and Merlin and
I
adrift
love the
in the boat.
story.
It was a wonderful painting.
I was reading the classic Death of Arthur before I started painting that painting, and he portrays that King Arthur there. He has this, ginger beard and just red eyebrows. It's crazy, and so much character. I approached him in the gym, and I was so nervous because I didn't know what he will think. Some weird guy, some weirdo comes to him in the gym and says,
Have a
"Hey."
card. Have a business card. It makes you
I
less
had a
weird
business
somehow.
card. I had a business card. I came to him. I said, "Hey, you look nice. You want to be in a painting?" He's like,
Well,
"Wow, okay, let's do
well,
it." And yeah,
it, it
so
it's quite a body of work. Nikita, can we come back sometime and visit with you again in the future and take a
sure,
look at
sure.
some of these
Yeah,
paintings?
maybe I'll paint him again by that time. I want to paint him in his where he works. He's a writer, and I want to paint one of his portraits. Kind of Vermeer kind of quality portrait.
Well, great. We'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Uh, and for the folks that have been watching today, myself, assisted by Gary, talking to Nikita, if you have an artist that you'd like us to talk to briefly, we'd love to set that up. And one of the other things that we're going to be doing in the future is we're going to be having conversation with the various chapter chairs of the CAC. There's 13 of them now scattered around the state. So we have some interesting content that we're going to be pursuing in the weeks and months ahead. And I'm Chuck Kavasik, and thank you for checking in with State of the Art.
Okay, goodbye.